Okay, good when you are.
Alright, hitting go live now. And we're live. Hi,
Well,
everybody.
so you say. Where's the proof, Stuart? Where's the proof?
The proof that we're live?
Yep, where's the proof?
The chat, they'll say that they can see us and hear us and stuff.
But what if you're crazy and you're just hearing and seeing things? What if you're actually alone on your bed, looking up at the ceiling, and I'm just a figment and everyone else here is a figment? I mean, do you guys know you're a figment? If you aren't a figment and can answer my question?
I can honestly say if I was alone in my bed, you would not be the thing I'd be thinking of. Like, let's just be fair.
Is that rude? I'm not sure. I think that's probably quite... I thought that's quite a compliment, actually.
Take it as you will.
Take it as you will. Which, to be fair, is a good summary of this live and this topic. Take it as you will. And we'll see if you like it or not.
Yes.
Hi, Stuart.
Hi. Hi, guys. Hi, Samuel. Hi, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, I know we're a little bit late to the show for this one, but that's okay. It's okay. We're going to be looking at some things that you might have seen.
And look, there's Ethan Peck. Can you spot what's different about him?
No, find the differences.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, well, you've pointed a few of them out to me, so I mean, it's up to them to kind of try to guess.
I would have changed the badge too, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I doing this? Why? The other stuff's really so subtle, it's hard to see. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna start showing.
Okay, you
just
do that.
Because let's get the people in, and hopefully I come back with like 100 people watching, and let's talk about this. Could be very exciting or not exciting thing.
Yes.
We'll see. See in a minute.
Yes. Well, some stuff to talk about. So 64 of you here, 33 likes. Hit that like button, guys. If you're new here, make sure you're subscribed. And if you want to super chat, please feel free. We do read them all on the air, and it helps support the channel. So other ways you can do that, you can send a PayPal. Their PayPal information is down in the description, but it's trekyards@hotmail.com. Just let us know that you sent it, and we will read your comment or question via the email through PayPal that way. You can also join the channel. There's a bunch of different ranks there and different amounts for a monthly subscription kind of thing, which really helps us out as well. So check those out. The join button is down there beside the subscribe button.
Hit correct quick.
And also you can head on over to Patreon/Trekyards to do the same thing. There's also links down below for Teespring store, the TeePublic store, and some Eagle Moss. We have an Eagle Moss discount code and stuff, all which helps you guys out in the end. So if you want to check those out as well, they support us, and that means you do too. 85 viewers now, 38 likes, guys. Hit that like button. Let's get to 50. I think we should be able to do 12 pretty easily. So let's hit that goal. And yeah, there are a few changes with his Spock there. He de-aged him a little bit. He made the eyebrows point here. He fixed the collar. A few little things like that. So, but yeah, we're going to talk about the images that were online a little while ago of the transporter room from Strange New Worlds, and talk about the changes and do some comparisons and things like that. So if you guys are interested in that, by all means, stick around and comment. We'd really appreciate it. Looks like Play-Doh hair. Okay, dystopian guy. Yeah, the hair does look odd. It does look very Lego-like, for sure. But anyway, so yes, hit that like button if you haven't, guys. We're almost at the 50. Once Samuel's done sharing, we will be back to talk about this awesome thing. Yeah, they've been asking Samuel, did you do anything with Spock's hair? Because it looks kind of like plastic Play-Doh.
I didn't exactly, not specifically. There may have been a slight side effect based on his digital de-aging, but there shouldn't have been much. I think it's just when you take him out of context, you're not looking at the shininess of the scene, and his hair just looks a bit odd in the scene he's in anyway. That's just more just a side effect of he looks a bit weird. But also when in motion, not necessarily thinking about it. But for those who are playing at home, I fixed his collar. I de-aged him a little bit, trying to look a little bit younger because, why not? Meant to be young Spock. And they also pointed out his eyebrows a bit more because they weren't quite as Vulcan. I thought that would change his overall look. So just little subtle thing to kind of make it feel a bit more, not a staged photo from one of the existing shorts, even though it is a still from one of the existing shorts.
Yes.
So what about today then, Stuart?
Talking about the images that were online a little while ago that were released for put out there.
Well, you showed them to me, and I have no idea where they came from. So tell me the story of how they came out. Where you saw them? Because I was on a break. You saw them first.
Somebody shared it on Facebook that somebody on Twitter had shared these, and so they put them on Facebook, and that's where I saw them and to send to you. Apparently, they're behind-the-scenes images from Strange New Worlds as the redone transporter room for the TOS Enterprise. So I figured it's something that would be interesting to talk about, even though I'm not sure that CBS necessarily wants us talking about it.
Yes, certainly. I couldn't find the original source of any of these pictures, and very few have actually looked at them. Now although they are still a potential, they look far more legitimate, and having a certain sense with us for art design, knowing what should and shouldn't be there, and what sets look like. I'm more happy to call them legit. It kind of feels like the Klingons leak originally with the Discovery, where it's like just some guy shared something, not realizing because they were working on it for 6 months and it happened to go live. And obviously that was far more controversial than this, or this might still be controversial because we've been holding up our crossing fingers for Strange New Worlds being the prophesized child of making something that actually feels, looks and sounds and smells like Star Trek, let alone the TOS, just Star Trek, because every other show has been off in multiple ways, on some ways obviously, but off on lots. So this is the the amount of people that have put their flag behind the banner of this saying this will be the one, and I'm just like, yeah, but have you seen the things they made previously?
Yeah,
it's their first actual look potentially, and I think there's enough in there to conclude it is legit, but obviously we'll get there in a minute.
One thing we have talked about before that was mentioned in an article quite a while ago was that, I forget where the producers, I think it was saying, when you close your eyes and you picture the TOS sets from the 60s,
yes,
that's what they're trying to invoke, which gave us a lot of hope that they were changing it from the Disco Prize, Disco Discovery style a little bit, and changing things up a bit. Hopefully it's not just color palettes and things. Hopefully there are other details, but...
Well, they've made such a point. I mean, they've been very teasing with information, very on purpose. So that also when the first trailer comes out, it'll be a bit, like Discovery. Everything will be there. Like, oh my god, this. And if it's all really good, they'll get this big positive backlash. Don't know what the word would be. It's reception. But they've been super small. But as with all the other shows, as Kurtz remember, season 1. Oh, everything will line back up with Canon at the end of season 1. And it's just downright lying. I mean, you know what I mean? Like just lies. Yeah. So many things they just say through the promotion circuit, and they've said lots of things, and so you can't take it at face value because they've lost all that credibility, even either man to mount, because they're on a multi-year, multi-million-dollar contract. It's their job to say their party line. Nothing against them, as long as they make good content. Who cares if they deceive in promotion? Who cares? Doesn't matter. But this is our first real look.
Yeah, and I've been kind of excited to talk about these. I don't know how I feel necessarily about them, but
that's
we'll
a
get
good
there.
Quote. Well, although in the chat right now, and obviously super chat guys, if you want, this channel certainly, as you said, I'm sure relies on them. So if you can, please do. But have you guys seen these pictures? Yes or no in the chat, or is this very much your first time experiencing them? Let us know right now. Have you seen these pictures? Yes or no? Let us know. Craig says Canon is overrated. Canon is the building block of any narrative. The only reason that do you realize how the last two Avengers films was all based on the canon they built over 15 years? That film wouldn't exist without the canon. All of their multiple eras and shows exist because of the canon. It's building, growing. WandaVision wouldn't exist without the canon. No, canon is the core of any show and franchise. It's not overrated. It's the baseline.
and I hate to be this guy, but Craig, Canon only has one N in the way you're using it.
Yes.
2 N's is the weapon. So we got a no, a yes, a yes, yes.
Cool.
Tacos, yes.
That's
yes,
a good answer.
No.
Is it a good
Yes.
answer? No, it's not.
First time from Ryan.
Mm.
Yes, yes, saw them today, yes. Yes, first time. There's a lot. Most people have seen these.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So I have all 3 pictures, which we'll go through, but I have obviously, as we do in Trekyards, made a comparison graphic with the important ones to show in context. Because it's fine to look at them just by themselves, but in context is where other channels don't necessarily do. So this is the first and sort of best picture, which is the overall shot, and you can see it does have chairs in, because often when they're not shooting on sets, they will put chairs for people to sit down on, craft tables, things that just you're not using it, will sit down and do stuff, and these stills, yell, scream of, this is in between scenes, etc. But this is obviously the most, I was going through in brief. This is the first overall picture, and then you've got the reverse shot, back of the transporters, but now you can see the consoles, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was actually them filming interviews that'll be released after, because there are lots of people's chairs lined up in the transporter room. Which they did do a photo shoot in the transporter room for the Discovery Season 2, I believe, photo shoot, so that was the thing they did there. And then picture 3 is a reverse, is a shot at the other angle, looking at the front of the consoles, back at the other side of the room. Although now I'm looking at it, this one's actually been redacted, because you sent me a zoom-in one, which didn't have people redacted, which had people physically on set. But this one actually has people redacted. So it's an image that was leaked, released, but has boxes over people's faces. So even though they released it somewhere, they were careful enough to put images over it, and I didn't even see that. So I guess that's for the costumes. But you can see there's doors and a larger art design, and there's the zoom that you sent. So those are the 4 pictures. Learning as we go. Any thoughts?
Okay, well, the first thing that comes into my mind when I see these consoles, first of all, is TNG for some reason, because of the color palette, which bothers me a little bit. The buttons, they got that tan, that pastel-y L-Cars look, or like it evokes the colors of TNG, unfortunately, and I don't know why that would be. I mean, they're trying to go for the TOS look. They should be like the reds and the yellows. But anyway, overall thoughts. It's not as different as it should be, in my opinion. I was kind of disappointed a little bit. Now, how about you? When you first saw these, what did you think?
Well, there's a lot to take in. There's more, which is a bad side, because there shouldn't be that much to take in. Transporter Room is a very simple set.
Yes.
It feels like a combination of the JJ Enterprise style of sets, which is big, shiny, chromy, colourful, with lights, and the Discovery, which is big, shiny, less light, big, and glass and reflective. It just feels like an evolution from Discovery. It doesn't harken to TOS. Now, I say that knowing they did already show the Enterprise transporter room, which we'll get into in a minute, but we'll take these out of context for a second. If you were a fan looking at this with no context where this was, I think it'd be hard pressed to say this was a TOS design. Hard pressed to say it was necessarily even Discovery. Straight thing. I think you would probably say this was a Picard era transporter room, because it looks so futuristic and fancy. Like, wow, it's so shiny and colourful. It's like, oh, cool, it's a Picard era ship, because they just, things just look weird. That's why I think you would say it, or I wouldn't even be against seeing this as the transporter room on the 31st century ships. Obviously, you'd have a few tweaks, but it's so big and bold and shiny and colourful. It's like, yeah, okay, that's on the Voyager J. Why not? It looks futury.
It's way too big and
massive.
Open for what the era should be, which has me worried about multiple things, even the size of the ship again, which they probably aren't going to fix. Honestly, they won't even address it. But
there's such a small short list of things to fix. This is a bad sign they're not going to fix many of them.
Exactly. I had a thought there for a second, and now I just lost it.
Alright.
That's all right. That's all right. Hmm. I do like the addition of the color though, like the red on the pads. I mean, it invokes the TOS idea, but I don't know if we have it. I think we.
Well, we do. That's the later picture. I just want to take it out of context first, and then we'll do because the fairness is to truly compare, but this is just the pure gut reaction stuff.
Yeah.
And also way too reflective as always. I mean, look how many surfaces are just pure sheen.
Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say. At least they turned on the lights, unlike the Discovery, where everything is like dark. At least this is like bright and colorful and cheerful.
It does look very consistent with the Discovery TOS bridge, which is lots and lots of reflections, lots of black shiny, and lots of lights. And you can imagine probably all those inner ring white lights will be on, causing lens flares in front of the camera and people trying to transport. Just lots of lights everywhere, which is completely antithetical to what it should be. The second view, obviously, was the reverse shot where we can see there is a corridor that goes around the transporter pad, which is the same as the corridor that goes around the bridge of the Discovery Enterprise, which, as we know, was not designed in the set. It doesn't physically fit in the bridge dome. It doesn't physically fit in the 3D model. It was built there because Alex Kurtzman said, I wanted this to be there because I wanted it. No practical reason, no whatever. And so they built it, and it doesn't fit in any other thing, and this feels very similar.
Yep, and that has me concerned as well. The simple fact is the original transporter room is a simple, small room.
Functional.
It's not this grandiose thing. Like, this looks like a theater almost. Like it has this. It's just too vast, unfortunately, and it has me a little concerned. I was optimistic that we'd be getting more faithful TOS recreations for this show, but
just updated. This is by no means the TOS transporter room updated. This is the Discovery engineering room modified, which is exactly the opposite way they should have gone.
Yeah. So
it's worrying.
It's very worrying.
Then you got the reverse redacted shot, which is interesting in itself because this is now looking at the non-iconic art design. The walls, the panels. For some reason, 2 full control panels with paneling on both sides of the control panel, so even people on the side of the transporter pad can see controls for some reason.
Let's look on the bright side. Maybe this is a cargo transporter room. That's why it's bigger.
Mm-hmm.
This is on deck 5, not the one on deck 3. The everyday one. You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe it starts in that one as like a little set, and they go to this one saying, "Oh yes, well we always our basic one's broken. We use a big one." But I see all of the other set walls, and it just doesn't. Okay, yes, the white walls, but it just feels lacking. You certainly wouldn't call this Star Trek at all. I mean, this screams any number of generic sci-fis. Any number of, why aren't there the TOS clickies on the walls? Why aren't there, like I said, the blinkies? We know they do have jelly bean buttons on the bridge from the Discovery one. So have a few of those on the controls. Why don't they have spinning moire pattern? Why don't they have some random greeblies in the walls of the bright primary colours to kind of signify these details? It's just so nothing,
Yeah. Well, you said it doesn't invoke Star Trek. Unfortunately, it does invoke Star Trek Kelvin, the 2009 look for sure. Like there's definitely visual tie-ins with that, and that's concerning as well. So, Dreamer out there though puts in $5. Looks a bit too Apple iBridge to me.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it looked like the original, but now you're seeing the has removed, and it just looks some fictional. Yes.
2 quick comments. Devereaux, think about it. Hundreds of people get transported daily. It has to be big. Sorry, how many times are hundreds of people get beamed in a day? What mission is this?
There's only 430 people on the ship.
Most
for
days
evacuations and stuff. Like there's like four transporter rooms I think in the TOS Enterprise, with 6 people each. So that's like
most days no one gets beamed. Like they get unused for weeks at a time between travel, and you're not beaming down the entire crew every given time. So no, think about it. A few people may get transported. And a second comment, which I thought was an odd comment, Craig says, a simple small room is not necessarily small in reality. You need lots of room for the cameras and behind-the-scenes crew. Well, first of all, cameras are a lot smaller than they were back in the day, but you're saying that a set in the 60s, which is small and functional, where the cameras were 10 times the size, they have to build a bigger set now to accommodate cameras because they couldn't accommodate in smaller rooms they did in the 60s. Sir, they already did this with smaller sets of bigger cameras. It's fine. And you have very, very small camera rigs. I mean, every turbolift sequence, for example. Have you seen the TNG episodes where they're in turbolifts? Not a useful comment. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because the sets were quite small for TOS, and they did have those big bulky cameras in there, so it did work.
Bigger than you think, because we've been around them. We've been around every single set, and they were all bigger than you think. Amply sized. The camera makes them look smaller. That transformer is pretty big. I mean, you could easily fit 30 people, 40 people, 50 people. 50, okay, fine, stretch. But, I mean, you could easily fit that many people. It's a big room. Like, big.
Crowded, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's the maximum speaking.
Mark Lawrence, $5.
Hi, Mark!
It's like you're standing inside an Apple store looking at a rainforest cafe with all the green behind clear plexiglass. Yeah, and that Apple iStore comment comes up quite a bit, and that is troubling because that's not something you want to see on this. It feels like a ship out of Alien or another sci-fi franchise.
Yeah. And even just having the actual TOS LCAR's color palette would make all the difference. But you're right. That's just TNG. It's diluted. Like I got kind of excited by the oranges because there are oranges in TOS, a lot of oranges. But where with all the other colors, it's very simple stuff that would harken. Like that's what they did for the end of Enterprise. They accommodated the TOS colour scheme into the LCAR slowly as they went. By the last episode, it was a lot of those colours, and it kind of does harken. But Stuart, obviously, the big image is then this image that I did, comparing them. Because the fact is, Stuart, we did see the Enterprise transporter room in the short Q&A, which was really pretty exciting. Now, this was, of course, a redress of the Discovery transporter room, which was actually very infrequently used that season. And most of the elements have been pulled from that set. Now, obviously, they are different, but mostly pulled. And I've got to be brutally honest, I far prefer the one from the the Q&A. Far prefer. Which is in itself a redress.
Totally agree. The sizing, the background, like the back panels, way more TOS feeling for the short there. So that's one of the things that concerns me because I saw that and goes, that looks all right. But I mean, if they're going to make it better for Strange New Worlds, awesome. And then this. Now this could be a red herring. This will all be a red herring. This could not even be the Enterprise for some reason. This could be another, like a Starbase.
Could be. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Like the Starbase when they're getting sent over to the ship or something. This is that would be great.
Or maybe it's like a brand new ship, so it has the most advanced technology, and that's why it's so big and huge. Maybe the Enterprise has to help some future advanced ship. But that's absolutely us pulling teeth. I mean, the amount of times we said, oh, they can't be Klingons. They wouldn't be stupid enough to make them Klingons. Yeah. And then they were Klingons. So, at this point, they've completely lost any benefit of the doubt when it comes to this sorts of things. And you can see, obviously, on the top right, the cage, which was the one it should look the most like. Yeah. Obviously, now, not literally, because, okay, yes, we're 50 years later, but elements to pull from, the colour scheme especially, and then TOS on the bottom. And, like you'd said, those back panels look fantastic in the short. Mm-hmm. The fact they're now, they're now green in the new version, but they're gone, and now a corridor looks awful. It removes all that. Why? Why, Stuart? Why?
I don't know. Chris Gwillem says the new one is the best looking by far. Sorry, just my personal opinion. That's fine. I mean, a lot of people. Preference. Yeah, absolutely. And the new flashy, let's grab everybody kind of modern look. I mean,
more glass,
that's fine.
More whatever. Bitch to clean.
The point is, this is a period piece, so it should invoke the TOS feel, regardless, and this just does not do that. So,
but it's interesting though, in terms of their own show, they were going to go one of two ways: either make it more faithful because they're not Discovery, or take Discovery as their canon Bible and move forward. Where you can see between the short and the other one, they've pulled most elements, even though they've redressed the top. I mean, it probably is the same physical set because they are using. I don't know if they're at the same Toronto sets. Apparently, they are. So clearly, those top pieces are the same. They've removed the middle bit, which was a bit odd. It was from the Shinjo, I believe, so they kind of repurposed it. The bottom bits are swapped to be more circle painted. Okay, fine, but it's still the same visual. So it's clearly the same style, just changed a bit. They haven't broken any molds for their own thing. They're just, how do we take our own version of the Transporter and change it further? Feels like they were limited by, we need to redress. Now, if they're forced to redress these sets, this set, maybe Discovery said not going to use the Transporter room ever again, which they don't need to, because they've now got beaming. They don't need to use it. They could commit to never using it again in season 4, which I think isn't the end of the world. And maybe they said, okay, Strange Worlds, you can have the set now. But it's just so the same, but less good, in my opinion.
And Feed Me Seymour keeps pointing out that the ship had a refit. Yes. But eventually the ship has to become Kirk's ship.
Yes. It refits to be half the size and becomes a transporter room.
Where you see the transporter room in the lower left.
Yes.
Pike's ship, upper right.
Well, no, because
so you're telling me this is the in-between refit stage?
Well, no, actually it's 2, because technically speaking, the top left is the first time we see it, because that's Ensign Spock. It refits from the top left to the top right, then it refits down to the bottom right into the bottom left.
But visual continuity doesn't matter, as long as it's new and flashy and looks really impressive and wasted our budget.
Well, no, I think it's just a redress set. I think they've just... Because if you recall, the original version of the set was of the Shinjo's transporter room, which had those big circles behind it, so there was more space. They just opened up and put the corridor. But why a corridor? I mean, yes, maybe there's some cool shot where people sort of go round it and then like queue up and then walk in and beam out. But that's so unlike anything that we've ever seen. And you know, like you said, Starbase, but I can't really believe it's a Starbase. It's too familiar to the existing one to be a new thing. And I was really excited when you sent me these. And even the first look, I was like, oh, the colours. But I prefer almost everything of the redress.
Well, having the comparison with the short, I thought the new one, when I first saw the new images, I'm like, hey, we got the colors. Look at red. And then I forgot how the other one looked. The other one looks so much better in comparison.
Looks simpler, cleaner.
As it should.
Less
smaller.
showy.
Yeah.
Actually having that red on the top and bottom be muted and the black be matte, it's now glass. It's now like everything's one big reflection. I don't understand that. Whereas the Q&A, it kind of has a scale to it because it's all matte. There's no reflections. Yeah. It's insular. Now it's a big open. Like I would actually probably love to put a carpet on the bottom like the TOS one, because it kind of pulls in the light. It kind of pulls in the vibe. God, there's so many things I could have done.
Yeah, and Stratus, I agree. The corridor makes it feel like taking cues from the Enterprise D transporter room. Yes, I thought the same thing when I saw that little alcove to the side of the transporter room where Brian goes sometimes to make repairs or whatever. And even the motion picture one, the motion picture transporter room had a little thing like that as well. Dreamer out there puts in $2. With the haze removed, it looks more functional. The haze removed. Don't know what you mean, Dreamer out there. BJ Turon, $10. Thank you so much. Yuck. Fake Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon aesthetic. I like realistic-looking sci-fi ship designs, plausible-looking ship interiors like old Star Trek, Star Wars, The Expanse, 2001: A Space Odyssey, etc. I agree. I think smaller works in this context, so this large room is a little much, but yeah. There's nothing wrong with the original Star Trek set designs, as far as size goes.
It's so strange. Because I'm even trying to wonder what are the choices, because if they'd had... So say it was the same physical shape, right? Okay, obviously lose the corridor, that's insanity. In baseline, I like the removal of the top and bottom elements with the cutouts of the colour. I like that. Fine. I like the way the red is now those circle at the bottom rather than the sharp angles. I like it. Fine. And the fact that it's got more lines painted, feels more like TNG, feels more like a progression. Fine. I like it. The green colour, nice colour. But why have you removed the panels that looked so good and pop so well?
Yeah, it's disheartening, unfortunately. That being said, we also only have 91 likes, which is disheartening. We have 186 people here. We can easily hit 100 likes. I think we can get 150. So hit that like button if you haven't already. If you're new here, please subscribe. We do a lot of comparison videos and lives like this all the time, and we really would like you to subscribe and join the channel. And as you can see, people are super chatting, which is great. We get to read all those out. We do have a few to go still, so we're catching up on those. But yeah, hit that like button, guys. It's really important.
And let's do a chat spike thing. Put in the comments below if you like this new version, if you dislike it, or if you're meh. And meh can also be, I'll wait and see it properly to see. Because this isn't necessarily fully lit. You know, I mean, you can see how the one in Q&A looks more cinematic because this is obviously taken by a phone camera, not through the lens of a cinematic camera. So we'll obviously give them benefit of the doubt with that, but, you know. And potentially, arguably, they may actually put in the back walls and just have that back corridor be a thing they can service it with, like a part of an episode where they, you know, they walk behind it as a cool secondary scene where they fix it, but normally has a plates up and they're just not part of it for this scene, you know. Maybe.
Corzian says it could be a change to the type of transporters as well. I recall them mentioning the Shinzo had lateral vector transporters. Yes. No, because this is the Enterprise. It's one of the newest ships. We've already seen it in the short trek. Even if they refit it, which they did at the end of the Discovery, no, because
well, the Shinzo was old, was over 25 years old. That had lateral. None of the newer ships had them. Yeah. People actually mentioned, oh, you're still using those, and then the Discovery doesn't. So already Discovery tech doesn't have it. Now, yes, the Enterprise is older, but the Shinzo is very old. So no, the Enterprise is well after that.
Yeah. Matt Boardman, though, $5.
Hi,
it just
Matt.
makes me confused why they can find people for Star Wars that stay true to the design aesthetic, but they can't for Star Trek. They could, just it's not the directive by the people in charge is to change it.
Or be respectful to their own universe, like we talked with Ryan Dennings, who had to design ships based on Discovery art design because that's the current existing canon, and so propagating a bad line of logic because it's got to follow this. And it's like, but that was a bad branch. You're creating more problems, you know, etc., etc.
Matthew DeFreitas, $2.
Well, I'd certainly like to see a Star Wars movie where they just change everything for the sake of it and see how fans react. You know, just give me, you know, all those movies have been pretty faithful to their art design, or you know, just stormtroopers look, well, they're black or they're green, but like they're standard ones, and it's just all different for the sake of it. And lightsabers are now, you know, made out of wood, or you know, they'd be kind of nice to see something that was, you know, I mean, they got obviously it with Luke Skywalker drinking milk, you know, and being a pathetic coward, so that was obviously quite controversial. But it'd be fun if all the ships, you know, Star Destroyers were now see-through and squared. Still a Star Destroyer because the canon says it is. It's like, yeah, okay.
Well, Matthew DeFreitas, $2. Could this be a swing set in transition?
Yes. Yeah, possibly. Yeah. And it could be open to do like the press videography to maybe hide what's going on, but it could also just be a standing set. You know, it could be either.
Yeah. Emran Terig, hope I said that right. £2, thank you. New Star Trek breaks my heart. Just gotta tell yourself it's remastered. It's a visual reboot. It is Discoverse. It's its own thing. That's what you gotta do to heal that.
But this is meant to be our Enterprise. But Devereaux says Gene Roddenberry could have made the TMP look exactly like TOS, but he didn't. Well, no, because it was years later. The ship had already been refitted, so he wouldn't have made it either way.
And if you looked at the production photos from Phase 2 that they were going to do, it looked very similar to TOS.
Which he was obviously in charge of as well.
Yes.
So until they had a movie budget, it was going to be more faithful. I mean, the uniforms were the same, pretty much.
Yeah.
Give or take. So, you know, money equals movie, but have you noticed how every bridge looks familiar and similar? Yeah, they didn't stray too far because it's all evolution.
Yeah. Everett Johnson, $10.
Thank
hey
you.
guys, love the channel.
Oh, thanks.
just wanted to say thank you for being a reliable source of Trek info. What do you guys think of the new Avalon Universe video? I really enjoy their work and passion. I really enjoy the Avalon Universe stuff because it's a nice new take on Trek, but remains very faithful. It's a very good segue. I like the difference in the uniforms, the little subtle little ship differences, but it's still got that look, and it's filmed beautifully. There's good actors. It's just a fantastic production overall. So, and the special effects, that's the worst part of the whole thing. They're just god awful. Oh, wait a minute. That's not what I was supposed to say. That was it. They're the best because.
Well, I guess my check didn't go through. Is all I'm learning from that.
Oh yeah, I haven't got that yet. So.
Well, yeah, I mean,
no, the special effects are done by Mr. Calkins over there.
Hey.
So down there.
No, they're good. I mean, as being part of the production team, and actually, I'm the one that keeps pushing us to make the Canon look more different. Which is, me saying that it's an excellent modernized TOS with the massive limitations of they've still got those standing sets they can't. If they could change them more, they would to evolve. But that's why the spaceships we can evolve as we go, and certainly the Connie Mark 1.3, I believe, is next. It's actually, I guess, 5 years or 3 years later. So I actually have to modernize TOS one more step to be really fun. But no, great guys.
Nice.
And they really, want to make it feel faithfully modern TOS, which is great.
They're doing a great job. Yeah. Ashen Khan puts in £5 with no comment, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jeffrey Jacobs. Hey, Jeffrey, how's it going? $2. 100 sweet onto 150. Can we do it? Hashtag make Jeff pay. Haven't done a hashtag make Jeff pay in a long time, but welcome back. And he didn't make me say 150, so that's good.
But you said it in a way just for him.
I did. We have 200 viewers as well, 116 likes. Guys, you can easily hit 150 likes. Hit that like button if you haven't. BJ Tehran, $2.
Hey, good to see.
Flashy and busy sets distract from actors. That was one of the big issues that we had with the Enterprise or the Disco Prize bridge.
Yep.
It's too shiny. The floor is shiny. The floor should be a matte. It should be carpeted. There's too many reflections. There's so much going on that, and you say that TOS has really bright, primary colors. Yes, but they're muted to the point where it doesn't overtake the scene. And looking at this transporter room here, you can see that everything is just in your face.
It's horribly distracting. Like, where do you look? It's I mean, not that necessarily, again, there'll be focus with an actor, but yeah, and the Discovery Enterprise bridge, there were blinking lights at eye level.
Yeah.
I mean,
spotlights.
Complete illogical. It's shocking. Whatever can be said, the TOS transport room looks nice. It's colourful, it's simple, you understand it, it's functional. Okay, yes, the top bits look like hanging down light fixtures with a bulb in them, which is what they are. And I mean,
yes.
Obviously you'd modernise that. I personally wouldn't have actually added emitters to the left-hand wall. I kind of like that the emitters are only at the back. I think that's kind of neat, having that, one-sided nature, because it's, whereas this new, both transport rooms are central to the room, both sides. I like the fact the transport room has, it's clearly the right-hand side transport room. You have a left side, These ones just middle, forward, symmetrical. I kind of like that odd nature. It gives you a distinct flow of dialogue when it comes to walking in and out of the room, etc. It gives you a mode of travel, whereas just these rooms just sort of start. TOS Transformer is not busy, but it feels good. And the short trek one, it feels busy, but in all the right places.
Mm-hmm.
Because whereas the other one just feels busy in all the places. And that's even without everything being fully lit. Because if you take it as read that there'd be more lights, then the top lights would be lit, the side lights would be lit, be far brighter and far more well lit.
Yeah, I never considered what you said too. Like those chairs that they have there, that's exactly what they'll do for interviews.
Mm-hmm.
I can see like 3 of them sitting there with that as the backdrop for like the behind the scenes stuff. So
yeah, which is great. I mean, I'm sure they're going to have a lot of good content to come out.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Interesting content. I don't necessarily mean good, I mean interesting.
Dreamer out there, $5. What I meant, I wish it looked like the old set, but now in HD you're seeing it more detailed, like you never have before. Like haze was removed from the oh yes, okay, gotcha. So you're saying that the 1960s look looks exactly the same as this one, but because it's just a crappier camera lens, wipe that off and it looks.
Well, no, I think he's saying it looks like, but you unsmith the lens and still there's now details in the purple and details in the carpet and details in the boxes, other way around where you just add more to it.
Omelette du fromage.
Fantastic.
Cheese omelets are great. Puts in $5.
Thank you.
Can reply to my Miranda question. Did Kurt crew dock at the wrong Enterprise airlock in the Wrath of Khan? Exterior shot is secondary hull. Interior shot is torpedo room. We don't see them dock in Wrath of Khan. We see them dock in the motion picture, I believe, unless I'm mistaken. But yes, they do come out in the torpedo room, which is the one on the neck.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but that was very expensive to do at the time. Small thing. Avenue Pad says, but it depends on how it's lit when filmed. If you think of how different the TMP bridge looked from TWOC, but they're the same sets, same with the TNG sets compared to the Enterprise lighting. Yes and no. TNG is a better example there because TMP was lit a lot by set lights added in set, as in extra lights on the set. It wasn't all self-lit. Later films were more self-lit, whereas Discovery's always been about they just light a scene with the lights inside the scene. There is no exterior light, and no one's got light panels to light an actor like TOS had. So this is lit, light panels either get brighter or lighter. There isn't any secondary light source. It's just this is what you have, because then they just run and gun shoot, and that's just how it looks. So there's a lot less flexibility when it comes to well, if everything's on and lit, that's how it looks. There isn't going to be some radical... Whereas TOS sets, you add colour to the walls. Yes, Enterprise, you turn some off, you make some red, you add separate lights, add more contrast. That's a very deliberate choice, so I don't tend to do that for this. Which is why, obviously, in Discovery, whenever they're near deep space, just deep space, blank space, there's always bright orange light coming through the windows because it makes the sets look different in deep space. Bright lights. Yes. But boy, as I've said so many times, we were hoping this would be the dudes that would do it. At some point, I just need to redesign these sets to look modern because apparently they just can't do it. They just can't do it.
Well, I'm still holding out hope that this is a Starbase or something. This is like to throw us off the scent. Because if they had already had the one from the short, which looks great, it wouldn't take much to make that feel more TOS.
It's just shocking because they have the full budget. They don't need to use the Discovery sets. They should have built it at least to have that same left-hand door going into set vibe, because just by doing that one thing it would feel more like TOS with very small things. It's remarkable they feel the need to just... Oh, dear me. It doesn't make me excited. It's just such a overly complicated... overly noisy. It's being pulled further and further away from the Star Trek aesthetic that has existed for 50 years, further and further into just a modernised Discovery. And obviously, since you've already had Discovery looking like the future, this just looks like noise. Throwing more lights in the set, throwing more reflective, because reflective glass is advanced, but it's just getting more and more noisy, less and less logical. You ask, well, why are they reflective? The answer is shut up. You ask, why is there carpet in the TOS transport room? Because carpet is soft, it doesn't scratch, it makes less noise, it dampens echo. Why would you want reflective glass as your floor? This is a workspace.
Well, I mean, if they still have the mini skirts, I mean, the reflective floors might be good. Just saying.
Well, I mean, the scants for those as well, yeah. Equal opportunity. Yeah.
Oh, man. Jonathan Davies, though, puts in £5.
Thank you.
Looks like someone got shares in a plexiglass company in San Francisco. Yeah, let's use as much plexiglass as we can we can stand.
Because I don't even know if I like this set, and that's sad. Because I did for those first like 2 or 3 minutes, looking at it.
Well, the comparison is what kills it for me. The comparison with the short, the Q&A short, like that looks so much better.
Because here's a close up of Spock in the Q&A short, which I pulled the image for the thumbnail in, and that to me looks great. And I said that at the time. We were super positive. We were positive up until the garbage with the Discovery Turbolift shaft of Doom. Like, this looks great. I mean, okay, yes, he super blends in, and he's actually quite dark. Okay, if he if they were green in the back, he wouldn't blend in, and because no one has a green costume, that fits better. But that looks nice. It's not too busy. It's bright. It's lit. You understand what you see. Okay, there's a circle things from TOS. There's the pillar lights from TOS. There's a backlit from TOS. There's a red from TOS. Boom. You can see all the elements being pulled in.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
Yes. Yeah, it does.
And even what they did, I mean, they're very careful with how much they showed, which is not very much. When they walk out of the transporter room in the short, and again, I'm showing these on the screen, you can see they even like added things to the sides to kind of compress it further, so it was just the transporter pad without the extra stuff. And it gives it that nice, more compact feel, whereas Discovery always felt bigger. They filled in the walls and they gave it these primary colours. Looks good, although you can see it's the same set. They just opened up those side walls and it's the same stuff, which is because that implies they're just going to use the same corridor layout. Discovery's going to evolve into something else, and they're going to use the same corridors, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, it could be.
It feels more like a room, transporter room with those closed off sides for sure.
I mean, it's still huge, but it could be their larger one because it's clearly going down the center. But that looks fine. Like, it's not great. There's a few things you can do to make it better, but it's fine. It's good. Looks nice enough. Corals are just redresses, and I mean, yes, obviously TOS is too simple, but of course it was. And that's the.
Oh my god. Net Sachs puts in 10 something. I don't know what that symbol is, but.
Oh wow, neither do I. What is this? Israeli shekel. Wow.
Oh, thank you. Does it look more
$3
Borg than Federation?
Thanks.
Oh, thank you. Look more Borg than Federation.
In some small ways, yes. Mostly not, but I can see the slight parallels.
If you turned off all the lights, throw on some green lights, have those green black back panels, and have the queen in the middle.
Strobe.
And have the queen in the middle, for sure.
Actually, yeah.
Oh. Never really considered that, but...
Yeah. Now, obviously, again, as Femi Seymour is saying, we don't know this is going to be what it's going to be. But this is as much information as we have. Clearly, they've pulled a lot from the Enterprise one. So, at the very least, it's a design and built at the same time. And I think pretty clearly it's the same room as Discovery Pad. They've just redressed it yet again. And they've said, how many more lights can we fit in the set? The answer is, I guess, none. Because, boy, we've got a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. I was optimistic at first, but I'm really just kind of getting bummed out now.
It shows they haven't learned. Well, they've learned the wrong lessons, which is more futuristic. Even though this is now 6 years to TOS.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. Every season of Strange New Worlds are going to be getting closer to that handover to Kirk. But those are the old shows. Well, yeah, but come on, guys. They say this is Prime, but it's the Discoverse, man. It's separate. Yeah,
we definitely put all of our eggs in this basket. And hey, it's very likely the stories will be better. Episodic, going to planets, exploring. That's exciting. But when you're when you're in sets that just don't fit at all,
Well, that shot where you can see the side corridor, let's look at that for a second because they do have the control panel here, and you got the 3 sliders. There are 3 sliders there as well on the right. So good. They're a little bit too big.
And a
but
massive
again,
control panel.
look at that control panel and the colors and the layout of the buttons. It's TNG. It feels like TNG. And we got the big center part of the transporter control thing with the little turn the thing to get your coordinates. Looks like that's represented there on the left. So I mean, there are elements that you can recognize, but it almost seems like this isn't the Enterprise. This is another ship, or like hopefully a Starbase, something like that. More modern tech, or even,
well,
like I don't know.
It still wouldn't even look good as a Starbase. It's just too insane. Now maybe, and this is me really going home, maybe they said, okay, we've obviously built our own transporter room because they would need to have the walk and talk from the transporter room to another set. So I would be shocked if, just like Discovery sets are, they're all connected via the corridor. That's a fact, right? They're all connected. That's how you build that thing to walk and talks. So if you were to do this set as a redress of the Discovery sets, then as Strange New Worlds, you'd either have to say, right, we are now using the existing Discovery corridors and changing them, which then means Discovery can't use them, right? Or we can't ever have a walk and talk from the transporter room to the corridor to another set without doing some green screen compositing to fake it. That's a big commitment to losing that thing. And if you're building your own set, you can design your art design. This doesn't feel like what the Enterprise should feel like. So it's very, very far out. Now, what if this is an example of, like you said, a Starbase or a future ship, some ship they meet, maybe Section 31 ship, whatever, where then this is a specialist ship, and then to show contrast with the Enterprise, where they have their own sets, this looks far more what the Discovery team want, but I thought, just like the Shinjo is actually a separate bridge, right? They had that bridge, they built the Discovery bridge. They turned the Shinjo bridge into the Section 31 ship bridge, because they had a secondary set, they were to change it.
Yeah.
So maybe this is, well, we have the other transporter room, we're barely going to use it in Discovery, let's make that into a transporter room for another ship in Season 1, because, there's more space to it than our version, and it's more, we can make it look more radical. And then, the two consoles make way more sense if it's if it's a Starbase, you've got a lot more control here. Nothing here feels like the Enterprise, even slightly. And they don't need to redress or reuse those sets. And like I say, the walk and talk, losing that is huge. Unless you're saying they're going to reuse the Discovery corridor, which means Discovery can't use them, which means you can no longer, unless you convert every single Discovery set, you can no longer have the corridor walk into the sickbay, because those are all connected. Now, if you're converting Discovery sickbay to this set, then obviously Discovery can't use any of their sets, which means it's no longer Discovery sets, it's Strange New World sets, because they can't just slap paint on. You've got a massive budget per season. They're to build sets. They aren't to recolor walls. And what if Discovery needs them the next day? Oh no, got to recolor them again. You're not doing that. So very likely this might just be a secondary ship to look very different. Just like Section 31 looks so different to... What do you think?
I have no problem with that. Like I said, I'm hoping that this is just one of the sets that gets repurposed into different alien ships of the week kind of thing.
Because Discovery sets, they're not going to use all the sets anymore necessarily.
Yeah.
Just tweak them as we go.
This would be great if this was like I said, from one of the pilot or the first episode or the last episode, where this is the Starbase. They're coming back from a brief jaunt mission and they beam over here, and it's literally these were leaked to throw us off, because that's what we do, but at the same time that's wishful thinking on our part. We've said this stuff like this before, like you said with the Klingons, and it's just they just slap you in the face with, nope, we just don't know what we're doing.
Well, with the turbolifts, the Q&A turbolift using the cavern turbolifts, even though they know they're wrong. It's like that was made after part of season 2, and yet they know they're wrong. Whereas using the Klingon ships, they don't use the Klingon ships from season 1 again in season 2 or 3 because they know they're wrong. They use G7, they invent, they never use them again. So I feel like that's very logical, the rationale I just did. Just the very fact of you have your own, especially if you can imagine with coronavirus limitations, you aren't going to build these sets next door to each other because of that. It's unlikely to have literally the next soundstage available for Strange New Worlds. It's going to be potentially 1 or 2 down, they aren't going to want to have to travel from their bubble to the Discovery bubble just to film in the transporter room and have to move all their people. That if you're in a locked-in set for your own bubble, you know what I mean. You aren't, and this is quite a hefty reshape. They've changed the floors. They've done a lot of work here. This isn't just for one episode quickly. I mean, okay, if it's a big thing, it's it's a big thing for the episode, sure, but it's got this couldn't be converted back to the Discovery quickly, This is converted out of Discoveries. I feel like it'd have to be something. Yeah. What do you guys think? Put in the comments now. Am I wishful thinking, or do I have a good point of the lack of walk and talks? Because Trek is famous for their walk and talks, and Discovery uses them as well. Please let me know, guys.
Yes, let us know your thoughts in the comments, and also if you can super chat, that'd be great. We do need to hit 150 likes.
Yes,
we're still slugging our way towards that goal. 7 more likes, guys. But I'm going to up it now. I think we should do 175. But let's at least, if you haven't hit the like button, just hit the like button. Also, make sure you're subscribed.
It's easy
for content like
so
this.
Easy. Click. Done. There you go. It's that easy.
Yeah. Dreamer out there, $2. Think we'll see people in the corridor during beaming.
He means a back corridor.
Oh.
I mean, sure, if they've got it, they'll do it. They shouldn't, but they would.
Gotcha. Corzion says it could be Citation Ops Transporter. Yeah, it's a way to get the whales on. They just fill this with water. That's why blue.
So we're saying this is the best new Trek show because it's the whale one.
Yes.
Just like the whale movie is one of the best Trek movies.
Jonathan Davies, £5. The transporter console actually looks like it could be a predecessor to the consoles from TMP with the beige and black. Well, the color scheme for the console itself, I don't mind, because if this is Cage era, which it is, but just after the Cage, we know that the colors were much more muted on the Enterprise. Even the bridge was gray and black. There wasn't all the primary color pops. So, yes, I think it fits with the era that it's supposed to be in as a transition to TOS. But pre-motion picture, I don't know.
It's just sad. And it'd great to do a supercut of us change our hairstyles, haircuts every 6 months, saying we're gonna think really positive thoughts and positive, and then we do a hard cut to no, Picard's gonna be great, respect the character, and then cuts to Picard, shut the fuck up, and then they're gonna respect Canon and have great cameos, Egypt being murdered,
Yeah.
But that's the problem with not being haters. We're just taking what we're given and responding to it and trying to be. It can't win, Stuart. It can't win.
I know.
But,
Everybody's saying.
But the short one looked nice.
Yes, it did.
We liked it at the time.
Everybody's saying wishful thinking. People are confused by true transporter controls. Yes, there are 2 consoles there, which makes me think. Okay. The transporter room we see in TOS all the time is just one of 4 that are in the saucer. Just the one set that they always used. You always hear them in TNG saying go to transporter room 3, or they'll say another one, but there were multiple ones on that as well. Maybe there's one on each side, the left and the right, like you said. You usually saw the right one or whatever in TOS. This is the one in the middle. That's why it's got 2 consoles. It's a bit bigger. Wishful thinking, but I don't know. I don't know why there are 2 consoles, guys.
I mean that works absolutely fine. But by that logic, they create a corridor that looks nothing like the corridor we've ever seen in Trek, and just say, "Oh, that was on deck 7." It's like they could do that, and it would be apt. It just but you're trying to actively piss people off. It's like firing torpedoes from the nacelles. It's like it just
for the win.
It's like you're not trying, even though they are trying. I just oh my god, I just want to.
Rebel Poet 71 keeps telling us to watch The Expanse.
Yeah, how far have you got, Stuart? Because you were watching that.
Still 3/4 of the way through season 2. I kind of watch it in spurts.
So it didn't grab you a second time.
Well, season two's got me for sure. If you can get your way through season 1, which is awful.
Yeah, I'm sure the show's better in retrospect though. Once you know the characters, you can rewatch season 1 and be like, oh, that's great. because you
Yes.
are already fully invested.
Yeah.
Tricky.
BJ Turon, $2. The simple computer console actually looks good.
It's okay. I don't know why you just wouldn't build the TOS one and modernize it. You know what I mean? Like, just take that shape and tweak it and make it more curved and add more buttons, add some more glowing panels. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. You know. Now, I'm sure there's probably also limit. Well, not limited, but if they want to practically light the set, you wouldn't be able to practically light the TOS set. And given they've actually had to practically light the TOS set in 3D, you can't. It doesn't light itself in any way. There's no interactive lighting whatsoever. So everything is fake studio lighting, and it's fucking difficult because it's like, it's so well lit but not well lit. It's very frustrating because you know. So you'd have to do quite a lot of interactive lighting panels inside the room just to make it light at all, without just ceiling light. But still.
And yes, Rebel Poet, I get it, but we're talking about Trek right now. So, tuning 3434, does the size of the transporter room really matter as long as it fits somewhat with TOS technology but revamped for modern sci-fi norms?
Which this doesn't.
Well, yeah. Screw modern sci-fi norms. As I've said before, TOS is a period piece, and every time they've shown it in DS9, Enterprise, they've always made it look as it's supposed to look. Who cares? It's a future from the 60s. It's not a future from our time for TOS. That's the established look of TOS. That's how it should look. End of discussion.
Star Wars modern day computers are still green things with lines.
Yeah. The X-Wing cockpits are exactly the same as they should be. The displays are the same. In The Mandalorian, that's because that's what it looked like. End of discussion. Don't need to change it. So,
and if you need to change it, just make the jelly beans touchscreens and make some other things light. It's just a remarkable thing. Because, like I said, I would accept the short one as being a modernized TOS, but bigger.
Yeah.
Like, tweak 3 things and it's good. This one is definitely not. I mean, this new one looks like the JJ one, bigger.
Yeah,
like
this feels like a JJ movie set for sure. Absolutely.
It definitely does not feel like a modernized TOS. You'd be hard pressed to see these two. I mean, you can see them side by side. They don't feel the same in any way. I mean, yes, it's nice they put red on the floor, but boy, is that a small thing. And it's odd that I think we're both quite nervous of what we were going to say. But we only take it for what it is. It's tricky. But the fact that we've seen an example of it looks better, made on less money, because those short treks had very, very small budgets. They've already done it better. Oh my goodness.
Rebel Poet says a period piece isn't going to sell with new viewers, and the showrunners need new viewers. We're all going to die off soon. Well, I don't agree with you at all. Like you said, just modernize little jelly bean buttons to like little touchscreen buttons or little floating holographic buttons. It's already there. You go. You've updated it. It's modernized. It'll be good enough for any new fan. So no,
and it
doesn't wash with me.
And it's also not those new fans that are buying the Blu-rays, that are buying the toys, that are buying the Kirk merchandise, that are buying the TOS stuff. Those people aren't buying the merchandise to help subsidize the show. So,
those are the fans. The new fans are the ones that are getting the 1 month free subscription, watching it all, and then never going to revisit it.
Because it's not, you're not ever going to watch Discovery Season 1 again and say, what does this add to my life? It's not as deep as any other shows. It doesn't stand the test of time even 3 or 4 years later. There's a reason why all the merchandise is TOS primarily, because that, most old fans like it, and they've given their kids that love. And yes, you want a new style of, new fans to come in, but just tell good stories. It's their choice to put it into an era that they can't design for. That's their mistake, etc., etc.
Yeah. And let's be fair, without us old fans, there wouldn't be the gestalt around it to warrant getting new fans. So we're the ones that need to cater to and then indoctrinate the new guys into what worked for us and kept us on board for 50 fucking years.
Yeah, I mean, do you not think... Because all those fans... Doug Drexler was part of the letter writing campaign. He's one of the people that got Star Trek a movie and another TV series. He's still alive and kicking and paying for Star Trek. The young people aren't. Do you really want to alienate the people that have been supporting it for its entire lifespan, that literally are the people who have made it what it is in terms of audience? New people, especially now generations, will binge it, move on, whatever. You know, there's lots of things, but you know, you want the people to tell their kids, and then it's tricky because you can have both. You know, you can have both, and it's shocking how they just don't see that. And if you've seen the critical reviews for other shows, it's tricky. And it's not as if Picard was meant to get new people. How is that meant to get new people? It was all based on the old canon. If you're a new fan, you wouldn't get any of it. And do you really want to follow a 90-year-old man who looks old, who's febrile, and the characters aren't, you know, that's not a show for new fans. It didn't appease old fans. Discovery is a show that doesn't appease old fans. It maybe got a few new fans. The JJ stuff is what appeals to newer people, but their retention rate dropped drastically each film because they alienated all the old people who didn't buy the new ticket, and then they didn't make Star Trek 4 because the fan base didn't turn up to watch the films because they made bad-ish films and ones that didn't respect the universe. So, you know, you alienate the old and you don't even get another movie. Whereas the old, you know, how many movies did Star Trek get in a row? 14, 13, because the fan base came out and supported. 14 in a row. From like 82 to 2006. A long time of constant movies.
With all due respect, you say get a new audience, but I mean, Samuel is only, 27?
28, yeah.
And he's the one making these arguments that this is how it should look, right?
And I always say modernize. If you want to say for a new audience, I always add that caveat.
Yeah. So this new audience that you speak of, there's this streaming mentality. They've got the attention span of a gnat. So, like I said, they binge the show all at once with their 1 month free. They're not even contributing to the cost of Star Trek by
on their parents'
subscription.
CBS All Access. Because why would they? Yeah. They're not gonna. Why would you pay to watch the new Star Trek if you're not a fan of Star Trek? If you're a young person,
exactly.
You say, "Oh, can I borrow your dad's Netflix and I'll watch whatever I watch." Oh, it's one of 9 things I watched. Oh, I watched Expanse on Thursday. I binged all of it, and Star Trek on Friday. Moving on. You know, it's like a friend of mine, Lawrence. So you finish your thing. Sorry.
I was going to say, it's just a different mentality these days, and so getting the new fans isn't going to work. It's not going to cut it, unfortunately. And new fans, a lot of them get pulled in. We have a moderator on the Facebook page, Douglas, who actually, first Trek he ever saw was 2009.
Wow.
Still his favorite Enterprise, and that's fine. But you know what? He went back and watched all the other Star Trek because of that, and now is a huge Star Trek fan and really likes the Prime stuff. And agrees that if this is Prime Universe, it's supposed to be that it should. So the argument's invalid. I don't care if it's the corporate mentality.
Well, it's valid. It's just there's a lot less people, and they're a lot less discerning. What you want is to appease the people that are paying all of your salaries, and you make really good quality content. Okay, great example, right? The Witcher TV show, right? The Witcher TV show on Netflix was extremely faithful to the books and the video game. The music was deliberately similar to the game. He had a lot of the main actor played all the games, so fans of the game could watch the show and enjoy it. Fans of the books could watch the show and enjoy it. They didn't alienate both groups and say, here's a show, get new audience members who had no great love for it, and then move on. They had all 3 groups because it was a great show that respected everything and yet did its new thing. So they gained everything. My friend Lawrence, who's been a friend of mine for 15 years, he has seen some Star Trek, and then now he watched the Discovery. He waited for them to come out on DVD, bought the DVD, not even the Blu-ray, just the DVD. Watched it, over like a week. He said, "Oh yeah, enjoyed Discovery season 1. What happened in it?" Like he told me a very, very brief blurb. Like he couldn't remember most of it because he just watched it, and moved on because he was just, let's see what's happening in Discovery. He liked season 2 better. That was nice, because he thought Pike was good, but couldn't tell you much about the story, because of course he's just watching it to binge. And I'll not say an older fan won't binge a new show, although I quite like, and I know we're both in favour of having the weekly release, because then we get to really embrace it. Like, everything with Discovery sticks in my mind, because I've had to watch it week on week and do it, which is great.
Yeah. So, BJ Turon, $2 TOS set at Ticonderoga. It's fantastic. You should go see it. Matt Boardman, the super chat went in twice for some reason, but $5. There was no need to change it other than someone wanted to put their stamp on Star Trek. It was going to make a name for themselves. Yeah, as I refer to it, pissing all over it. Say, hey, I made that. Look at that. There's marking their territory. Patrick James, $5. I just want good stories, good acting, and good directing. Set design for me is the icing on the cake. It's just icing on the cake. Most instances I would agree with you if it was something new or post-Nemesis. However, because this is a period piece and it's shoehorned into a specific time, the sets are really important to me, and they're actually kind of distracting if they're saying it's Prime, no matter what's going on. So, whether how good the writing is or not. But that's me.
Well, not just that, but if you allow them to make choices, the JJ films massively affected how Discovery was made, which has affected how Picard was made. They're each going off each other, and so this line of rot is spreading because now that's the design, and so you can say good stories, but if they change it all too far away from anything core, you can't even go back because it's they're building upon each other, etc., etc. And obviously we hope for good stories, but it's like the Discovery is not a character in the show whatsoever. Not even close. The sets you don't care about whatever. Whereas TNG, all those sets for all different shows feel like home to some extent. The NX less so, but I think they're meant to be less so. I think the Bridge you quite like, and it has a few sets, but for the most part they're less. But it's just good stories are the most important. But if this is meant to be relaunching the Discovery era, which it is, this was a chance to have that new step forward and make everyone happy. Because this is the only show fans asked for. No one asked for Picard. They also post-TNG. We got post-TNG, but it was about a sad old man fighting Romulans in a non-Federation ship. Well, not even fighting Romulans. It wasn't the post-TNG any of us asked for and would not have asked for. If you put 1,000 chimps in a room, they wouldn't write Star Trek Picard, or 100 Trek chimps in a row.
Yeah. This was a good chance. I said this before too. This is a good chance to course correct, which we thought they were doing with some of the statements they made. And unless this is a red herring and not actually the transporter set on the Enterprise, I mean, I'm not super pumped up for it anymore. So.
And it's funny because there's a good example of story over everything else, which was the Trouble with Edward short, which was a awfully disrespectful short trek in the context of the young captain comes aboard, massively disrespects one of her officers to the point of asking him to be fired, etc. And you look at Barclay in comparison, how compassion is important. She's actively hating him for being who he is, etc. Reinvented the history of the Tribbles to make no sense, and then lots of really stupid things that are stupid, and yet really funny written. If you don't think about it, it works well, and I really enjoy that thoroughly. Where the story sold me over the art design over whatever else because it was that was really fun, That won me over despite the stupidity. So a good story can win out, but I'm not going to look back at that and say, great art design. I'm going to say it was a thing that happened. Yeah.
And Rebel Poet says that he doesn't hate this transporter room, to be honest. I don't hate it either. It's a fantastic looking set. Just not for the Enterprise pre-Kirk. It's that simple. And
actually, one thing, and to go back to something you said very early on, they said explicitly, if you close your eyes and squint, what Enterprise do you think of? It's not the Discovery one, it's the classic ones. For most people, and obviously not all, but easily most, if you squint at this set, you don't see Enterprise at all. So I can't imagine this. If this is what they were meaning, they weren't meaning it, they were lying. So this can't be the actual Enterprise one. This is going to be something separate. Mostly for the argument I said about the corridor, walk and talk and redress. This is going to be a Starbase. A big Starbase, which is clearly around the same era, or maybe like a dry dock one. Maybe they start in dry dock and this is the dry dock one, which is why it's bigger, because they need to move stuff, which would be great. And dry dock we built around the same time as Discovery, potentially, before it's just a new dry dock. It's colourful because it's new. Yeah, it's a dry dock. There you go. So it's a dry dock or space station. I would be shocked if it was anything else. Shocked.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed, right? Jeffrey Jacobs, 263.
Thank you.
163 likes. Come on, let's get to 200. Blew it to do it. Hashtag make Jeff pay. So we're at 168 right now. I set the goal for 175, but Jeff is asking for 200. So guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. Even if you don't agree with us, you're here watching. Hopefully you're enjoying the conversation. So hit that like button, show your support.
I've definitely learned over the many years of Trekyards that it's foolish to think everyone's going to agree with you, and there is no opinion that's right. Although we obviously, you will watch us as a single person in the community who may know other people, but we talk as the heads of the community who see every comment, like we see all the chats, every live for years now, with a much broader feeling of what people want, because we're actually seeing it, we're actively having that conversation rather than one-on-ones, etc. Not to say we are right for sure, but we can argue why we think what we think. It's just really interesting. And there is 2 images on the screen that should not be on the screen. Oops. Because you're not going to appease everybody. So, some people hate Enterprise D. Some people think Discovery Bridge is the best bridge. And that's fine. There are always extras. But if there was a letter writing campaign for how many people save Discovery Season 4, like TOS Season 3, how many people would sign that compared to the TOS one? Or if you had a letter writing campaign
to new fans don't care. The new fans don't care, and the old fans are just sick and tired and don't want to support this shit.
And that would be interesting, actually. If you could guarantee StarTrek.com promoting this poll, like the big bulldogs, would sign here to get DS9 Season 8, or sign here to get Discovery Season 5? I mean, would the numbers be astronomically skewed?
Oh, that would speak volumes. And I think if they had a brain in their head, they would realize that, you're going to see which one's going to blow up, and it's not going to be Discovery, I can tell you that.
And DS9 was one of the least liked ones at the time, since appreciated more. But, I think you'd look at, a large disparity.
Mm-hmm. And B. Cluett says, that's why I come here, to see what everyone else thinks of things and to add to my own opinion. Well, we appreciate that, because we do look at both sides of it. And we do try to find the good in all of it and be the hopeful optimists that say, it could be this. I hate to sound like an old curmudgeon with the way I've been in this one, but I'm so sick of that fucking argument about new fans and new sci-fi expectations. It's just bullshit. Sorry, it is.
Yeah, I mean, how many tens of thousands have you pinned to Trek over the years? How
look around, man.
And how many tens of dollars have new fans put in?
Exactly.
I mean, how many of them have even bought the Blu-rays? That'd be interesting. Put their money where their mouth is. But it's just interesting because obviously we're showing these images. This isn't that's why I said the out of context would be quite interesting at the start. But now you can see them. It's shocking. It's remarkable and shocking to see the differences.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Because I want to like it. I do want to like it, but my gut, it just isn't. And even for a even if it was in Discovery, I'd think it was busy and cluttered. It's overly engineered for what is a very... Because transporters aren't new in Star Trek at this point. So this is very much like walking into a tube station. It isn't anything particularly special. It doesn't need to be over-engineered.
It's good for the new Enterprise A from the Kelvin movies if they made an...
Oh, yeah. That's good.
And that would work for that.
That would work. Fantastic. And...
feels like...
You always say those things that make me think, God damn it. That's such a good comment.
For, man. That's why we make a good team.
So what you do is you have the Discovery Enterprise be the JJ Classic, which is brilliant, and this be the Enterprise A refit. Oh, that fits. Alright, mic drop. He solved it. Oh god, that's frustrating. What do you guys vote now? Yes, no, out of 10. Would this be an ideal J.J. Abrams Universe Kelvin Timeline Enterprise 1701A refit transporter room? In the comments right now, because I think that is a resounding yes from me.
Yeah. This could be a work in progress, says Anton Smith. I mean,
they're filming their last episode. They've halfway filmed their last episode, so this pitch would have to be 5 months old.
That's what I mean. Like, hopefully this is the set that gets repurposed into the alien ship of the week. This is just different, whatever.
Which it has already been for the
last scene, the last episode, where they come back into Starbase or dry dock. They beam over to the Starbase and talk to one of the admirals and meet Giorgio, and that's going to be like the closeout for maybe Section 31 is coming, and Giorgio making her appearance in Strange New Worlds. There you go. That's what this is. And then, we're wrapping up filming. Have a seat, guys. We're going to do some interviews. Pull in the chairs. We got this set up. It's all lit up already. Come on.
Yep.
There you go.
We will live in that vain hope.
So a lot of people like the Enterprise A idea. A 10 out of 12. Yes. But why didn't they use Cage uniform colors?
Well, they did originally, and then they changed the costumes before they even started shooting.
Yeah.
And Ed says, was the TNG transport room a flipped upside-down redress of the TOS-1? Thought I heard that in TNG Jones End documentary. Well, that set had been destroyed for 15 to 20 years. So no. It was a redressed version of the TMP one. Heavily redressed, to the point where they never use it as a TMP one again.
What you might be talking about is the pads, the floor pads on the old set were the ceiling ones.
Yes.
TNG, and
So one element was flipped, but no, it was a full set. And obviously they drastically improved it from Star Trek 1 to TNG, and then obviously it was repurposed for Star Trek 6, etc. But guys, we do need another $45. I certainly expected a few more super chats today, but that's okay. It's certainly not a good month for us, but we were expecting that, so we're not pushing too hard, because next month will be good. We know this month's gonna be bad for us income wise, but we have come at peace with that. Although they're announcing that they're going to announce some stuff this coming Friday for Lower Decks and Prodigy. So I'll be surprised there's a trailer out for Prodigy. So you're very likely to get some new stuff from us very soon. And I believe there's also a Comic-Con coming soon. So this could be the accidental leak of the precipice of things. Not that I actually have time to edit stuff right now. I'm extremely busy, but okay. That might appear out of nowhere. Yes, Friday the 23rd July and Sunday. So yes, this weekend is San Diego Comic-Con. So it's very likely, Stuart, that the weekend we thought we were going to have, we might have to cancel entirely, Stuart. I might have to see you all weekend.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yes, I have to see you twice, though. Once live, once recorded. I see you twice.
Nothing wrong with that.
But I hear your voice. So this, I got a photo. Hey guys, welcome to Trekyards. I'm Ken Foley, and this is Trekyards. This is Committee Cookies. But there's nothing wrong with
Cap.
Chipmunk Foley, Captain Chipmunk.
I'm more like 200 guys.
Oh.
But yeah, there'll be new stuff coming out. I think we're gonna get some Strange New Worlds leaks. Prodigy's got to be something coming out soon.
Well, Comic-Con is the thing to share. That was the very first trailer came out. The second season 2 trailer came out. Guys, let's do some guesses. What we're going to see for the San Diego this weekend. They've already announced the Star Trek Universe panel and the panels for Lower Decks and Prodigy. I just saw that thing. I'm going to guess we're going to see a Strange New Worlds trailer.
Yes.
They filmed the last episode, so I'm going to guess they're going to have a video of the main three on a green screen saying, "Hey guys, this is Captain Foley." No. Hey, wow, that'd be a surprise. It's Trekyards announcing it's going to be Pike in his new uniform on a screen on the digital LED screen on a set, saying, "Hey, this is Anson Mountain. I'm playing Captain Pike, and you're about to see the Star Trek Strange New Worlds trailer." And Spock's gonna walk on his new uniform with his new haircut, looking sexy, and and then Rebecca Remain, and they'll all be their three new uniforms, releasing with a poster with all three of the uniforms, and then they're going to show the new trailer, which will be a Brave New World style. Rather than Strange New Worlds, and that'll be the trailer, and that'll get us all very excited, and our desks will stay static. Oh, rather than a lift. And we're going to see a Lower Decks scene. I'm going to bet we're going to see a Lower Decks scene with a cameo from a guest star. That I bet we're going to see, and a Prodigy teaser trailer as well, if not full trailer, probably just a teaser. Those are my guesses, Stuart. What do you think we're going to see?
I think those are pretty much good calls. I don't think we'll see anything other than that, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you basically covered everything that I was going to say. So.
And that's pretty conservative as well.
Yeah. You never know. Like there could be some real gold that we get to talk about soon. But that's why you got to make sure you're subscribed, guys, if you're not already. Hit that subscribe button and don't forget to follow us and join us. Hit the bell icon to all as well. It's very important. And hit the like button because 6 more people need to do that. Get to 200. So, anybody have any other thoughts about this?
Yes.
Room? Let us know. Super chats would be great. Right now, Jeff has the last super chat slot. So, I mean, Jeff hasn't been here for a while, honestly. So, I mean, it's fair that he has it. But if anybody wants to snipe it from him, now's the time. Now's the chance.
Each snipe will go past us because we'll matrix dodge it, and we'll hit the glass of the transport room. So if you want to shatter that glass ceiling,
yes,
well, glass floor, shoot now, forever hold your. Yes.
The Rebel Poet says if he hits the like button, it will just unlike. Yeah, I know. You only have to hit it once.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm happy to do a brief update on Trek Shorts, since you guys are here. Trek Shorts being my Star Trek fan film. Not. Hey. Yes, but at least $20. Come on, guys. At least 20. Trek Shorts going well. We've finally now got all of our 5 or 4 filming dates confirmed. We have Nimran here on the 31st and the 1st. We're hoteling her and everything, so it's going to be quite an expensive weekend, but that's okay. We're shooting all of our short number 4, Fleeting Moments of Peace, which I've fully written. The entire cast have seen it. I've had lovely comments from everybody. I don't know if you know, so I'm always quite nervous when I ask, what do you think of my scripts? Because I'm always thinking the worst. You know, like I want to hear things, and it's always nice when people say nice things about them, because you know I'm not going to deliver it. If I'm not going to deliver it unless I'm confident, but I'm always let's see. And I got some lovely comments from everybody. The Squadron chap who's in it, Jacob, who played the one of the main captains in Squadron, Star Trek fan production. He said, and this is lovely. I said, am I faithful to your character from Squadron? He said, no, you've done him properly how I want him to be. I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's nice. Because if you've seen Squadron, he's under the thumb of an admiral the entire time, so he's having to fight, a higher rank, which dick measuring contests change how you act, whereas if you get to be the king of your castle, as a captain should be. So that was quite nice. Filming that pretty damn soon on the 27th. 7 days from now, I guess, next week. Goodness, next week today, we're filming day 1 of the Stargate Star Trek crossover. We have all the props, we have all the costumes, all been tailored, all been customed. We've got our shooting schedules worked out. I've got the location worked out. We'll see the temperature, probably quite hot. Oh dear, sorry guys. Got my new batteries, got my new camera. That'll be fun, and that'll be really, really fun to start showing images of, to show in Stargate costume on set. And I've never shot a TOS character in a forest, so that'd be quite fun. See how movie TOS I can do. And then we're also shooting on the 2nd, so 1 day after Nim. So Nim will be leaving, and Nick from Scotland will be flying in. They'll miss each other by about 3 hours. I'll get 3 hours of non-Trek peace. And then we'll be shooting on the next day a mini shot I have with him that it's called Duty of Starfleet. I released a teaser for that, part of the campaign, and that script went down well. It's a very different script. Very, very different script, actually, to anything I've written before. It's more, it's Prime Directive based, which, as you know, we've often talked about, and creating a consistent yet relatable yet not black and white argument. Because when we as people can look at an episode of TNG and say, "Oh, they're right. They probably haven't done it quite as well as they should have." Would you concur?
Yeah, absolutely. So
trying to make it a bit more flexible, is a bit more, and that's gonna be fun. That's a lot of green screen, a lot of voiceover for that. And I'll reveal I've utilized a trick that TNG did to utilize a bit more cleverness. So that'll be my way of showing some of that. And then I'm flying to Scotland within the week after that, just before Lower Deck starts, to film a short with Nick. So we're sort of swapping. He's doing the route here, I'm doing the route, and he'll tell me how crap the route is. Because he's doing it the week before, and he'll tell me how long travel takes from all the different, trains to planes to automobiles, back to trains, back to planes, back to his house, etc.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Exactly. And that'll be fun, because I get to film on his Scottish Highlands with him in costume, and not while snowing or raining or grey, hopefully. I mean, it's Scotland, who the hell knows, but hopefully it'll be one of the few sunny days. And then that'll be quite fun as well. So yeah, I'm good, yeah. I'm making some Star Trek next month, a lot. We'll see how it turns out, guys. I want to do you guys proud, and you guys funded it. I'm putting a lot of heart and soul into it. Hopefully you guys will like it. And, we can critique Star Trek all you want, but me being able to make some stuff, judge what I think some good Trek could be. So, yeah.
Jeff Jacobs, $2. 200 likes. I knew we could do it. Made Jeff pay. We're 203 now. If we can get anybody else, let's get to 210. Let's get another 7 likes. And Scampy Fry puts in £2. It says it stinks. It's talking about the transporter. I mean, it's great. It looks fantastic. Just not for what they want to use it for, if that's what it is. So.
Yes.
That's all. Teasing.
But I'll be trying to make the old sets look good. And in fact, I've got a film I'm doing where I'm going to be using a TOS engineering. We've got the digital set, but try and convert into Octane and see how nice I can make the old set look. Because you can still make an old set look nice, in theory.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe for one of the Avalon films, I'm going to be asked to do a modernized TOS engineering. They won't have the budget to make a new engineering, but I'll be tasked to actually relight the TOS one and make it a little more modern. So that'll be an interesting task of how do you make the same basic set feel more modernistic. Changing texturing, adding more. That'll be interesting. That'll be really interesting.
Fun.
Yeah. Assuming it goes through. That's just, they said, can you do it? I said, well, yes, just give me time, because that's not easy. Yes.
Heavy Cap. It's in $5. Love Trekyards.
Thank you.
Just wish we still had Roddenberry Star Trek versus JJ.
I mean, it's tricky because obviously Roddenberry, left Trek very early on. Mostly it's Rick Burnham Star Trek.
And most of the stuff that was really popular, Roddenberry didn't agree with, like Star Trek 6 and Star Trek 2, and yeah. So
he created the world, and all of the later producers from TNG to Enterprise, meaning the same people, because it was the same people, they all wanted to carry on his vision, so they were doing it in his spirit. They just had to go through some more narratively satisfying ways.
See, the problem with a single creator type thing is you get the problem like with George Lucas in the prequels. It was one man's vision, writing, directing, and overseeing. Whereas the original trilogy, yes, they were all his idea. He wrote them. He also had people help him with the script. He also had different directors for each. So it brought in new blood. If you just have the one creator, if we had just Roddenberry, I don't think we would have had a lot of the good Trek that we really enjoy. So that's where my argument with that. One person's vision becomes tunnel vision, and they don't have any other input coming in. So Scampy Fies puts in £2 and says, I agree, it looks fantastic, but it's not the Enterprise. Absolutely. Those are my thoughts exactly. Another $5 would be great to close out. Then I'll hit that one goal that we've kind of been minimum that we're going for. And 5 more likes too. Let's get to 210 while we're at it. So
yeah. I just think it's as I've said to you, and you've known that for 5.5 years now. It should just be a good story in the Star Trek universe. The universe is what is the rich thing. You know, the way people are, the way society is, the way aliens can be, the way we approach aliens exploration. Okay, in a Starfleet context, fine. That's the rich play field to tell stories in, which is why Lower Decks succeeds so well. It's just you pick a time to tell a story in, and you respect the canon that you play. This is why when I do my different short treks, I move a little bit around the timeline, but I'm going to obviously respect. Yeah, I'm doing one that takes place between Generations and TNG. Okay, so I can utilize a lot of different things or not. And I'm getting to play in a very fun sandbox because of that. And I tell you what, Stuart, you know what? For $54, okay, for $30, I will share a brand new work in progress with you all from Short Treks or Trek Shorts. Damn it!
What?
And this will be fun to see what you guys think, because it's a set that you all know and love. See how I've done it. This is just version 1, test 1. But I did this the other day because I was really excited to see, because of my fantastic modeler Adrian, who is just knocking so many things out of the park.
Adrian!
Yeah, and he's definitely improving, and that's always good because I've improved a lot over the years, and he has too.
Wait a minute. Is this Plaid Man? Is he from Canada?
No.
Toronto?
No.
Oh, okay. You've scooped up my friend Plaid Man, who was on Bridge Crew with me.
No, Adrian. What, Andrew?
Gotcha.
Yes. No, Adrian's been... He's the kind of guy that he's great, but he has real life. But I have been working stuff consistently, so there's no like deadlines for him. It's just more like working on stuff for 7 months. We've got a long list. We'll get there eventually, but let's start really far ahead. Guys, $30. I'd love to show you this and get you guys feedback, because I am trying.
Well, guys, one more like to get to 210. One more.
If you guys don't want to see it, that's fine.
That's cool.
But, a few 5s, 4 10s. I'm just saying.
Scampy Fry. What's in? This is the last super chat slot. So I mean.
Oh, I want to show that, guys. Oh, I mean, do I go down to 20? I mean, $20. Oh, I feel like I must. $20, and I'll show this cool thing. I want to see what you guys think. It's 'cause I do love doing these interiors. And the chat is just doing its own thing. We're talking. Chat is not responding at all to what we say.
It's just ignoring us at this point.
It's like Heavy Cap. It's a brand new half the presses render of a digital set that we've built, part of Trek Shorts. See what you guys think, if it feels like coming home. That's okay, Ryan K. I'm teasing those that can, not those that can't. If you can't, don't worry.
Heavy Cap asks, "What is this you're trying to show?"
I already answered that. Hey.
Oh, EJ Tehran, $20. Thank you so much. Woohoo! All right, let's see this thing. Okay. I haven't even seen this yet.
No, only 2 people have. 3 people. This is hot. This 2 days ago, and like I said, to be explicit, this is test 1, version 1. Okay. By no means anything remotely, looking like final. But this is my first test, because I do like my interiors that I'm doing. What do you guys think? I didn't build this, but I textured it. Well, I set it up. What do you guys think?
Oh wow! I think it looks. It's all right. It's okay. No, it's fantastic.
I mean, where on that? There's always that line of not necessarily looking real, because real is a very hard thing, but feeling like what you think it should feel like. That's the bar. Where do you think I've fallen? And this is like the version 1, trying to match the colors and the lighting amounts and the specularity. The side things being more reflective. How close do you think I've got, Stuart? And be honest, I'm not looking for a big number here. I'm just looking for an honest reaction.
Honestly, it's at least a 9 out of 10. It looks fantastic. It looks like something that from the show. Looks photoreal. The lighting's great.
Excellent.
Can you have people walking down it though? Like that's.
I mean, if I've got a green screen that's that long, I mean,
Well,
it's limitations of a green screen more than can I do it. It's like, yes, of course I can. That's why Temple on was great, because the green screen was massive. I could have a long old walk. What do you guys think? I haven't texted this yet, like I say, but I've worked on this. And this is what's going to happen for Trek Shorts. Going to be able to have these sets. And, you know, bring you guys back to the Trek, where also you're not going to, you know, the hero isn't this set, but even if you only see it for 2 shots, they need to get from A to B, they're going to see a corridor. And so you as the brain, well, of course they've got this set, you know.
Paul puts in $10 and says, "Cool."
Yes, thank you.
Awesome.
Got to the 30. Thank you. Be clear. Yes, looks real. Thank you. Walls need to be more shiny. Yes, very tricky. Actually, very. What rendering engine are you using? Octane rendering. All those wall panels storage? No, but they are pull-offable panels with stuff behind them. So they're coverings behind with tech behind them. Thanks, Donnie. And core, it looks good. The carpet needs a bit of feathering or 2 colours meat to bring the textures more in line, and heavy. You add a bit more texture with reference to the carpet. There's no texture at all. That's why I've yet to texture it. Which is why I'm quite pleased with how good it looks for version 1.
And Ryan K says, in case you missed it, if that's version 1, I say damn.
Yes. How do you film a corridor with a green screen? 2 ways. You get a treadmill, and so you don't film it. You film a person looking as if they're walking. Or 2, a very, very large green screen. Or 3, you use a digital person. None of which are fun.
Yeah, no shit.
But yes, I'm quite happy with this, and I wrote in lots of TNG sets into a short that, oh no, we have to build. What a shame. Is that a shame, Stuart?
What the shamings?
I'd render that for $1. There you go.
There you go.
All of our bad jokes are away. Thanks, guys. Pleased to show that, because that was fun to be able to see. And you know,
No, it's great.
it's nice to see. Oh god, I had to. Stuart, I turned off that image and went back to the thumbnail. I was like, oh. Oh.
Oh, that's like the night before and then the morning after. Oh.
Oh.
Once the alcohol wears off. Anywho, I think that's probably good.
Thanks, guys. And what's going on Trek Short? You guys have already backed it. It's already getting made. This isn't to help make it. This is wait and see it comes out. You know.
So tune in probably tomorrow for another live, even though originally I couldn't do one tomorrow, but now I can apparently. So we'll see. We'll let you know.
Now, is that because something got cancelled or because you love me too much?
That second thing, I guess.
I don't believe that for a second.
Anyway, see you guys later. Till then,
Great
this is
one.
Commander Cockings.
He's Canon Foley.
We're Team Trekyards, and you guys are awesome.
I was going to say that. Yeah. Good job.
Bye,
Bye
guys.
bye.